Welcome back to another episode of There's a Tiny Little Man Constantly Dancing Inside Me. He never gets tired and he never gets hungry. And today we are reacting to the new Dua Lipa album, Radical Optimism. This is her third album and it comes off of the heels of Future Nostalgia, her sophomore album, which, at least by my ears, is one of the best pop albums of the past decade. It has insanely slick production and it sort of ushered in the sort of 80s craze we've been seeing in pop music. It was a huge step up from her debut, which I kind of just felt was a little bit flavorless and not as distinct as what would eventually come. And it looks like her streak will continue on this album because the three singles that were leading up to this album were all fantastic. But all I'm really hoping for with this album is just 30 minutes of just straight up really good pop music. When you're listening to Dua Lipa, you're not really listening for the depth, and I think that's totally fine. But like I said, this album is 11 songs and it's only 36 minutes, so it's got to be airtight. Every song's got to be a banger. But I do have high hopes for this thing. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This first song is called End of an Era. Okay. It's funky keys. I like it.
1, 2, 3.
What's it about a kiss that makes you feel like this? Hopelessly romantic.
Okay, this pocket is very different for her, and she's already setting up the themes of the album here, talking about being an optimist. So, all right, I like it.
What's your name? The sweetest pleasure. I feel like we're gonna be together.
Okay, not a bad chorus. It's going for this really like sugary and really sweet sort of attitude. Feels a little bit like the single Illusion, just maybe not as electrifying.
No more, at least I tried.
This bass guitar though, oh my god.
Nights, I guess. This could be the end of an era. In the clouds as she goes, butterflies fly. Another girl falls in love, another girl leaves the club.
Yeah, really love the flow on that bridge there. That was a cool one.
La, 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 la.
Don't know how I feel about the la-las.
Butterflies, let them flutter. Another
Woo!
girl falls in love.
Yeah, okay, that was fun. I think it won me over by the end because it sets up the themes of the album really good. It's almost like this false delusion, the radical optimism that is, of thinking, oh, this relationship's gonna last forever, everything's perfect. And then obviously this next song is Houdini, which we know sort of talks about wanting to leave but also wanting to stay. Should I stay or should I go sort of situation. Instrumentally, I think it was maybe not the most interesting, but I appreciated the lyrical content for how it was setting up the rest of the album. And that, of course, that bass sounded really good. The bass in most Dua Lipa songs sounds pretty good, so very good there. All right, next up we got Houdini. This beat is so Tame Impala. That came out, so I'm very familiar with that. I'm a big fan of this song. The chorus is super simple, but it's super catchy, and I just really like the angle that she's writing this song from, just incorporating the Houdini line and being that slippery figure in the relationship. I think it's a really clever analogy.
See you watching and you blow me a kiss.
She sounds great on this verse.
It's your moment, baby, don't listen. If you're good enough, you'll find a way. They say I come and I go. Tell me all the ways you need me.
I just love the constant doom, 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 doom. It's really giving this track that like clubby, gritty momentum. I just really love how this song sort of climaxes. Like, this bridge is huge with those like lead synths coming in, those reverb soaked synths, and then you slowly get the chorus coming back in, but it's like not super in your face. It's sort of just sliding in there, so the instrumental still has a huge spotlight. I think this is a great. Yeah, I think that song is fantastic. Honestly, one of her best. I kind of thought when Training Season came out that was my favorite, but this song is just, it just sticks with you. I can't describe it. It's very possible that will be my favorite of the entire album. All right, next up is Training Season.
Are you someone that I can give my heart to? Late at night.
Once again, she sounds fantastic on this verse here, and I'm really liking the flow of this album so far and how the story is actually coming along pretty cohesively. Whereas Future Nostalgia kind of just feels like a mixtape of like interstellar 80s, just sensational pop music. So far, this feels like it's telling a bit of a story. I think Training Season complements Houdini because it's like, it's saying, you know, training season's over, like you gotta keep up if you want me to stay, if you don't want me to disappear. This chorus just has like this timeless melody that I feel like would have been a really popular song in the 80s. It's so good. And I do like the huge build up with the "you should know why," and then it sucks everything out, and then you just get like that bare chorus. And it kind of reminds me of Don't Start Now in that way, but I think it still stands on its own.
'Cause training season's over.
Okay, something that's always pissed me off, and I have to say this because it bothers me every time I hear it. Don't want to have to teach you how to love me right. I hope it hits me like an arrow, but she says it arrow to make it sort of fit with the following line, ask for. And I know she has a British accent, but like arrow. If you're a British person watching this, does that feel natural? For me, it kind of sticks out a little bit. And subtly, they're bringing in like little extra percussion, like Tame Impala loves to do. He did produce a lot of the songs on this album, I believe, including this one. And you know, he's sneaking in those little, I believe it's bongos. You can barely hear it, but it's just adding a little bit more to the chorus, a little bit more of a groove, and I really appreciate it. One little gripe I have with this final chorus is I wish it brought up the intensity just a little bit. It's just a little bit repetitive by the third chorus. I kind of wanted a bigger finish on this song. And besides those really excellent, like ABBA style piano hits in the bridge, I think the bridge is just okay. Still a really solid song. Houdini and Training Season back to back. Those are two just really sensational pop songs, I feel like. All right, now we're really in the thick of it, and I'm really excited. This next one is called These Walls. These nuts. Okay, yeah, interesting change of pace here. It's almost going for like an indie rock, indie pop vibe. Really loving this chorus. Okay, so it's advancing the story a little bit and saying, okay, you're getting all these warning signs now. It's looking like this relationship isn't working. I also really love this post-chorus where it's like, these walls, these walls.
We call it love, but hate it here. Do we really mean it when we said forever?
Yeah, the verse still feels a little undercooked. Oh, okay, vocals. Oh my god, I activated my Google when I said okay, vocals, bruh. Okay, yeah, I didn't mind the change of pace for that one. I like that one felt a lot more personal too. Once again, reinforcing this theme of like, she keeps pushing through, she keeps wanting it to change even despite the red flags. Again, it's the radical optimism. Not the most interesting from start to finish, but definitely a sweet sounding song, I feel. All right, this next one is called Whatcha Doing. Ooh. Okay, yeah, this is it. I mean, this one is just a step up sound-wise. And, I mean, she's going off with the vocals on this one, and the melodies are really nice.
What you doing to me, baby?
Woo!
My decisions got me headed for collision.
I think this airy post-chorus sort of complements the chorus, which was much more direct in its vocal performance. It's really nice.
For collision, lost my 20/20 vision. Please, what you doing to me, baby?
Dude, okay. That might be a new favorite for me. Yeah, that one was just a super fun listen. I think in context of the story, this is sort of her questioning herself and her choices, and also her lover, because she's like, what are you doing to me? Like, she's kind of realizing the things that are happening in the relationship. So I wonder if we're gonna get a breaking point on this next song, because it's called French Exit. Oh, drums. Yes. Oh. Almost like a Latin-inspired guitar lick.
Everybody's still dancing. Everybody's holding hands and romancing.
Okay, so she wants to leave.
But I gotta hit the road. Inside a broken heart, if I don't break it,
Ooh.
goodbye doesn't hurt if I don't say it.
Okay, so not as hard-hitting of a chorus as what we've been getting up until this point, but I like that it sort of goes for a different feel.
I know you're gonna say I should've stayed till the end. If I don't break it.
I don't know if that's a violin or something that's going when she's like, don't say it. But it's really interesting, just sonic palette going on here. Again, I don't know if it's the most engaging or the most groovy of the album. In fact, it definitely isn't, but it's definitely interesting.
And the only fix is time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I kind of wish that one evolved a little bit more instrumentally. It did feel a little bit one note. I do appreciate the difference in groove here. And once again, it still does feel like it's advancing the story. All right, the next song is Illusion. And again, this is one I've listened to a bunch of times, and I do really like this song. Lyrically, though, it does seem like it's sort of repeating a lot of what we've heard so far. In fact, it even starts with, I've been known to miss a red flag. I've been known to put my lover on a pedestal. In the end, those things just don't last, and it's time I take my rose-colored glasses off. And at this late in the album, it's like, yeah, you think?
Rose-colored glasses off. I already know your type. Telling me the things I like.
Really love that pre-chorus.
Don't you know I could do this dance all night? Ooh, what you doing? Don't know who you think that you're confusing. You think I'm gonna fall for an illusion.
It's funny, I actually didn't love this song the first time I heard it, but with every consecutive listen, I liked it more and more and more, to the point where right now this is the most I've liked it. I mean, it's just immaculately produced dance pop. Those syncopated keys, the bam, 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 boom on the chorus is just, it's so groovy. I like on the chorus where she draws out the word illusion and then adds the post-chorus on top of that with the dance all night, dance all night. It's so fun.
Don't know who you think that you're confusing. I'd be like,
Dude, this song just makes me want to get up.
illusion. I really like the way you're moving.
Ooh, this melody on the bridge.
Wanna dance with the illusion.
Oh, and the synth solo, oh my god.
Doing. Don't know who you think that you're illusion.
I mean, I could see this song being a staple in like gay clubs, because I think it has that power as a dance pop song. Yeah, just a really sensational number, I feel like. All right, next up we got Falling Forever. Whoa. Oh my god, this is gonna be such a banger. I already know it.
Holding on, I know the mind is quick to throw away the moment and beyond.
Interesting.
Can we keep on
I mean, despite my gripes that this song so far is basically all drums, I mean, everything else is pretty low in the mix. It just feels like it's just drums and her in this chorus, which, I wish maybe there was a little bit more going on, and maybe we'll evolve more throughout the song. But I mean, this is definitely her best vocal performance I've heard in a long time, like maybe ever. Lyrically, it's not doing anything different than what we've seen in the album, so nothing particularly remarkable there. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we did get some like twinkling synths in the background of that final chorus, but that song did feel a little underwhelming instrumentally. I mean, it was all drums essentially, at least to my ears. And I'm a drummer, so that means a lot if I'm feeling like maybe it was too drum focused. Next up, we got Anything for Love. A little bit of an intro here. Oh, are we gonna get a ballad here? Interesting.
Keeping me when it hurts, we don't even think to cut it off. And I'm not interested in a heart that doesn't beat for me. We used to do anything for love.
Oh.
We're all so scared of forever, and no one promises always. Make it look way too easy. We all got too many options. And love that gives up so easily. We used to do anything for love.
That one was really short. Interesting little experiment. I kind of wish it would have picked either one or the other. The beat switch was interesting when it happened, but it wasn't interesting enough for the rest of the song to maybe validate it. I think a ballad at this point in the album would have been a little refreshing. That one was cool, but it felt like it didn't really have an identity. All right, the next song we got is called Maria. Okay. More guitar on this one.
Says he'll never leave, he means it too, yeah. And now he's the sweetest. Yeah, I owe it to you.
Really weird texture on this song with those really strange experimental electronic flourishes happening in the background. Some of them sound a little bit Daft Punky, and I don't know, it kind of sounds a little bit messy so far.
Maria, I know you're gone, but I feel ya.
And the flute, this feels a little random. This one might be a miss. It just feels really random. It really doesn't know what it wants to be this late in the album. Okay, so the song sort of seems to be talking about maybe an ex of someone that Dua Lipa's dating. So she's realizing that this Maria is still on her current partner's mind, which is interesting.
Grateful for all the love you gave. Here's to the lovers that make you change. When we're alone, even when I'm here in his eyes, I know you're somewhere in his heart.
I do think that's the weakest track so far just because it felt really random with the instrumental. And I feel like it could have been really good if she and her producers turned up the sauce a little bit and made it a little more soulful towards the end. Maybe we didn't really need those electronic flourishes. I think they realized that the instrumental sounded too similar to French Exit with that acoustic guitar and the electronic beat. But it looks like we're going to get some closure here on the story with the final track called Happy For You, which I'm predicting will sort of be about like, oh, they're broken up now, but she's in a better place now that they're both single or separate or seeing other people, or she's seeing him dating someone else and she is happy for him, whether either genuine or she's again asserting that radical optimism, like she's not actually happy for him, but she's sort of putting on that happy face.
Late on a Tuesday, I saw your picture. You were so happy. And I didn't even want to cry. I must have loved you more than I ever knew. 'Cause I'm happy for you.
Okay, I like that this closer is sort of going for a little bit more expansive of a sound to really round out the experience. Although it is a little predictable. Like, as soon as I read the title, I kind of had an idea of what this would sound and read like, so it's nothing particularly grabbing.
I see where you're at now. You picked up the pieces. You got everything you deserve.
Again, with these electronics in the background, what is happening here? And the saxophone and the flute? What? Okay. I mean, listen, ironically, the album fell off after Falling Forever. I mean, some of these tracks, it just felt like they were just like, let's just fucking throw this in here just to make it slightly more interesting, but then it just ends up feeling like a weird tactic to like jingling the keys in front of you to being like, oh, isn't this a little bit interesting? Because I think they realized that some of the production on these latter tracks just didn't really stack up to the singles. I think Whatcha Doing is the levitating of this album in that it's going to be the deep cut that's going to be the huge hit. But besides Whatcha Doing, like, the strongest songs were the singles, unfortunately. The other ones felt slightly more bland in the vein of like her first album. So it's not the sensational pop powerhouse that Future Nostalgia was. And honestly, I wasn't expecting something as sensational as that album, but I was hoping for a little bit more than we got. I mean, Dua's voice has never sounded better on record, especially on some of these tracks, and I do like the songwriting and the cohesiveness of this album, but my expectations were a little bit too high just for how good the singles were, and it just ends up feeling slightly disappointing. With that being said, right now I'm feeling a 68 on this album. Alright, I think that's going to do it for me. If you guys like the video, please leave a like. I will leave my Ko-fi link in the description. That's where you can support me monetarily. I don't make a single penny from any of these videos, from all the hours of editing and whatnot that I do to make these videos for you guys. So if you feel like donating, please visit the link. I would be very grateful for that. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.